Good evening, Fernwood. This is Neil. You're joining me for day 3 of my epic journey to finish the entire DVD set of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. This is January 7th, 1976 is going to come up next. But before we start the episode, before I start watching, I thought I'd do my best to recap from memory what I saw yesterday on January 6th, 1976. That's the right time of year. That's the right year. So, first thing is Mary goes to pick up Grandpa Larkin from the police station, where there seems to be some sparks flying between her and the police, the person at the desk who is able to stomp on the floor to call up for the flasher. On the way out, Grandpa flashes the lady who is cleaning. There's a circle wipe on her face. It's real. It's you didn't see that because I'm not sharing the video. Then we get to see a little bit more about Mary's parents, the family, the who are they? What are they called? I don't remember their name now. But we got Kathy and Martha and George. I don't know, the Shumways. That's who they are, and they. So we find out that Kathy is a student of some kind, either high school or college. I want to say college because she looks a little bit older to me, but people back in the 70s just looked older. Isn't that always the way with the past? We see a little bit of Loretta, who meets up with the reporter who's working on that murder. We still don't really know a lot about that, but Loretta has written a song about the murder, and Charlie's real proud about it. He sings about it to the lunch crew, who are kind of nonplussed. Loretta, sweet dear that she is not a great homemaker, because things are just strewn over her living place, her home with Charlie. We see, I don't remember what else. I've lost track a little bit, so hopefully I'll catch up. But that's what I remember from yesterday's episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. We're about to start January 7th, 1976's episode, and I'll do my best to remember some of it later. For a show with so much tension, there's a lot of soothing action going on with this music. It's kind of like I've taken a bubble bath and my senses kind of wash over me. Maybe that's exaggerating a little bit, but it has that kind of feel of like,
I hope you don't mind my going on with dinner while we talk, Mr. Clemons, but I'm not a real good cook, so it takes me a long time.
No, Miss.
I mean, he doesn't eat immediately. He goes into the next room, changes his shoes, he kisses me hello, and then he has a Schlitz. And by the time he finishes his Schlitz, his dinner is cool enough for him to eat without burning his tongue.
is Schlitz beer still a thing?
That sounds nice. Yeah. Tell me, Mrs. Hartman, do you know the Lombardis?
No, I didn't know them that well. They only lived in the neighborhood a real short time. I saw Mrs. Lombardi in the market a couple of times, but we never seemed to be shopping in the same section. Motive, really senseless when you think about it. Do you think this is too spicy or not spicy enough?
Tell me, Mrs. Hartman, how long have you been married?
14 years. But I've known Tom since high school. See, what happened is the water went up into my nostrils. It went way up into my nostrils. I started choking and coughing, and Tom said, "Oh, sorry." Isn't that hilarious?
You get your attention,
See, so
I sometimes
right
need
after
attention.
that.
Well, hello there.
Oh, there's a daughter.
Heather. This is Mr.
I presume it's a
Clemons.
daughter, but
How do you do, Heather?
Hi. Real achievers in her class.
they have one of
We
those
think that
straw
she was
dispensers
voted
where you pull
Clemons
out of the
before
thing
she
and the
graduated.
straws kind of
That's
swirl
for good
around.
citizenship and posture.
My, how nice.
Yeah, oh, we're sure of it. Just sure of it. Mr. Clemons is writing an article, about the Lombardi murders, Heather. Heather, isn't that interesting, dear? I don't know.
The
Could
daughter's
you sit up a
face is
little
like
straighter
this to the
when you don't know,
to the
dear?
table.
Heather, I understand that you knew the youngest Lombardi girl quite well. Went over to her house.
I got cramps. Which kind? Well, maybe. Sure. Oh, she'll be fine in, a number of days.
I wonder how much period talk was on television at this point. I don't know if this was groundbreaking
I really
or
appreciate that. I can't tell you what all that
normal
applause
at
does
this
for
point.
a little old country girl like myself. Well, that's just what I am.
Loretta,
a little
you and your
country girl.
nighty.
And I get the feeling there's a little bit of country in all you nice folks. Am I right? Huh? Am I right? You know, I have an uncle back home.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi, baby boy. How are you?
Your singing is my soul food, Loretta.
Oh, I love you more than 100 billion frozen Milky Ways. Okay. Love y'all, I really do. And right now, I'd like to sing for my next song, a little old song I wrote myself. It's kind of a love song. I sure hope you like it. And it goes something like this. Well, it feels so good when you feel me. It makes me wriggle inside. Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, it feels so good when you feel me. Yeah, that I'm just like to die. Oh, you really know how to touch me. You know how to make me flip, boom, boom. And when you let them fingers travel, oh, daddy, I really, oh, I like the trip. Thank you very much. I'm glad y'all enjoyed that. I guess everybody loves a love song, don't they? Because after all,
I like a love song.
that makes the world go round. Am I right? People in the neighborhood and everything. It's going to be a social study, see?
What in the world is social about murdering 5 people, 8 chickens, and 2 goats?
Honey,
and
it's
chickens
not
and 2
that
goats.
kind of
So
social.
this is like the same day as yesterday, I
It's
think.
interesting to people who read them Sunday stories about how when a whole family gets slaughtered, the rest of the people in the town, you know, how they're affected by it and everything. Which is why I spent more than 40 minutes interviewing me. See, when that story comes out, it's going to be some publicity for my career.
Oh, hey, yeah, I never thought about that.
Except there was one thing he said that kind of bothered me. He said that Heather had been seen over at the Lombardi house the very same day they was all murdered. Them and the goats and the chickens.
Heather
The
Hartman?
daughter.
Tom and...
And back to Martha, who's making the kitchen table. And she makes it like TV sitting as opposed to all the way around the table.
Are you happy with it? Oh, I hope so.
Talking to her plants again.
Did you go to your hairdressing class today?
Yes, I went to my hairdressing class today.
Good. Did they recognize
Well, that's the kind of
you?
student she is. She's a hairdressing student.
Peel the potato. After
Kathy
staying out
spits
all
nails
night,
through
I don't
her
know how you managed
eyes.
to stay awake in your
Mary's house. What's so wrong about sleeping over my own sister's house?
Well, not if that's where you were.
Why are you so suspicious of me? I mean, just because they go out every once in a while?
Once in a while, Kathy, you couldn't spend less time in this house if it was on fire. Oh, hello, Daddy.
Hello, sweetheart.
Welcome home, George.
What are we going to do about Grandpa Larkin?
Kathy, what kind
There's
of
a
way
coat.
is that to peel potatoes?
The
You
stripper
get off
coat.
more than you- I am not going to put my father in an old folks' home. Now that is settled. He made one little mistake. Maybe.
Maybe my foot.
Series of
He
one little
committed an
mistakes.
indecent exposure in a public school playground. That's not one little mistake. All right, all right. If the law doesn't take him in, I'll give him 1 more week. But after that, it's gone.
Well, there won't be any more trouble. You'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Where is he now?
And he did not look like he had clothes on, and he grabbed a coat off of the hanger. And now
Oh,
he is
you
in the
looked at
backyard. You can see him through the window. It's Tom in bed watching Mary with an eager eye.
That's impossible. She's my baby.
Well,
That's
then
not
again,
how.
it could be for 2 hints.
Like what? What?
One,
Uh-huh.
something they don't like you to do in Sunday school, and you're supposed to take a cold shower instead. And 2, it's something that you do to yourself by yourself.
Let me ask you a question.
Right.
Is it something that if you do it too much, you can go blind?
Yeah.
No.
That's not true.
Remember they said I'd lose my hearing. What? Hey, Tom.
What?
Do you ever do it?
Oh, yeah, sure. What about you?
I wish I could. Until we got married, I didn't know girls could do it.
Hey, can we please
Wait,
stop talking
until?
about it for a while? I think we kind of got off the subject, didn't we?
Did we? I thought we were going all around subject.
Not exactly the way I had in mind, you know? I'm gonna go to sleep.
So if you missed it, which you did, she put her hand on his calf, and that's
Sure.
when he reacted like that and got up and then got to his side of the bed. That might be a rare moment
Hi,
of
Mary. This is Kathy.
What's the matter?
affection between
you
the
sitting
two
down?
in
What?
bed.
What's the matter?
It's Grandpa. He did it again.
Did it again?
All right, that's it. Lock him up. Throw away the key. I've got enough troubles without having to worry about some
They're in the
sneaky
police
old
station
creeper.
again.
Pervert.
George, you are speaking of my father.
I know I'm speaking your father.
Let's get this thing settled, Mary. I gotta go to work.
We
in the
both
morning.
do,
And I've
John.
got a date, Mary.
The police officer's got a cigar and he's just observing the whole thing with a little grin on his
Yeah.
face.
Your grandfather has been arrested for the second time.
Yeah.
Now look, everything's gonna be all right. And afterward, we're all gonna go to the House of Pancakes.
Black with green.
While he
Yeah.
responds to her,
So what did he
his
do
eyes are
this
going up
time?
and down her.
Was it the same as last time?
Same as last time.
She's
But
not
he didn't
noticing
do
it,
in
but
the playground. He did it at the Fernwood
I'm
Receiving
noticing it.
Hospital. The luau for the graduating nurses.
chemistry.
Do you think they resented it?
There's a lot of noise happening right now. It's chaotic in this family.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the nearest House of Pancakes is?
So another quick episode, we see just little steps forward in each of the little storylines. The big news, of course, is that Grandpa Larkin, repeat offender, kind of knew it because, he'd been doing a whole rash of flashes before the series began. Little tidbit, we actually meet the daughter of Tom and Mary, who, I don't believe was mentioned in the first two episodes. I could have missed it, but also that daughter's maturing physically. Like, they talk around having a period. I'm not sure if the word period or menstruation was in use on network television at the time. I don't really know where this show showed up in the 70s, but we see that. We see a little bit of a connection between Loretta and Charlie. She does a little bit of a song in front of him, and of course he's very proud. But also Charlie drops the bomb that Heather was with the Lombardis on the day of the murder, or at least was seen with them. What else? Those are the big ones. And also we see just a little bit of Kathy's fractious relationship with her mother, and how Kathy's not living life the way that Martha wants her to. She's a young lady, I guess, but she's still living in their home, so I kind of get that feeling of control that happens there. Unspoken chemistry between the sergeant at the police station and Mary. I don't know if that's going to turn into anything. I just see the looks on their faces. It's not spoken about. And also we see on the opposite side of that imaginary triangle in my brain, we see Tom and Mary's relationship, where they do have a love for each other, but there's definitely stuff that they are struggling through that I don't know that they have the language to deal with, and I hope that they figure it out. I don't really know. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that there. is January 7th, 1976's episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.